What's up, Tiger fans? Bonds and Tufi here for the Towson Sports Network alongside the head coach of the Tiger baseball team, Mike Gottlieb. And Coach, first of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Morning, Bonds. Good to be here.
Yeah, so this is your 30th year head coaching the Tigers. How about that?
It seems to have gone by pretty quick. You know, I'm sure some people can't imagine how 30 years can go by quick, but people who are closer to my age can understand what I'm talking about.
So even though you've been coaching for 30 years and you've been part of the Tigers for almost 4 decades now, do you still get that fresh start feeling as the new season comes? Is that excitement still there?
Once we got on the field about 2 weeks ago, and I saw some good things out there, my batteries were starting to get energized. I was liking some of the things I saw, both from older guys and new guys, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe we have something here.
So let's look at the 3 aspects of the team: pitching, offense, and defense. We're going to start with pitching. Starting rotation struggled last year throughout the season. Did you make any changes when it comes to who's relieving and who's starting? How do you feel about the pitching rotation?
Well, we did make some changes, but let me go back and, if there was a weakness on our team last year, I don't know if it was pitching as much as team defense.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple of years, our defense needed improvement, and I think we're getting there this year. We can get back to that later. I didn't mean to interrupt your question.
That's cool.
Right now, pitching-wise, we have some new additions. First new addition is Mike Adams. He's a junior college transfer from Hartford Community College. He's a Pennsylvania native. He's your prototypical type kid. He's 6'4", 6'5". He throws fairly hard. He's improved quite a bit since the day he stepped on campus. We're all excited about what he could become. He hasn't done anything yet. We haven't had a game, but he's the first new addition, and just having him and seeing what he's shown at times, gets me a little excited. Kevin Ross, in his senior year, had a down year last year. He's capable of better. He finished fairly strong last year. I'm hoping good things from him. Alex Quas, who was a junior college kid last year, was hurt. Probably came in a little hurt. I'm not sure he'll admit to that. He's throwing much better lately. I'm feeling good things, seeing and feeling good about him. Dean Stromera is a sophomore now. He's done some good things in the early going and in the fall. Had a good fall. And Skylar Morris is now a sophomore. Had a pretty good freshman year. He had a good fall. Done some good things in the early spring and workouts. If he could just continue a little bit where he left off, he's going to be in good shape.
So, go ahead.
And you asked about the bullpen. We'll start off the back end of the bullpen with David Marigi, who finished strong for us last year. He's a small left hand with a power arm.
All right. So now we're moving on to offense, which is a bright spot for the Tigers last season. You do lose Brady Pausele, though, last year. Got drafted. You lost Chris Henze, who was another big bat. But you still have, Richie Palacios, who had a great freshman year. A.J. Gallo had a bit of a down year, but he shows a lot of potential, and you got Grunberg coming back. So how do you feel about the offense overall coming into 2017?
I think that probably it's the biggest question mark. Last year, for quite a bit of the lineup, there were younger guys. Numerous days we'd play 4 freshmen at a time. Hopefully, some or many of those freshmen will improve. History will say they will improve, some more than others, of course. Gallo, 2 years ago, hit 300. Last year, he had a down year for him. He's capable of better. Grunberg, who you just spoke about, as a freshman, hit 300. Losing him early was a big loss, both offensively and defensively. So having him back improves both sides of the field for us. And he's a switch hitter. So with him in there, we're strong up the middle. We have a guy at the top of the lineup who can do some things. Palacios is he's one of the best players on the East Coast. And not that many people have a guy like him. I don't know how much better he's going to get, but if he gets a little bit better, he's a truly great player. And we have a lot of young guys who are capable of being better. And if they step up, offensively, we can get back to what, for the most part, is part of our history, being a good offensive team.
Within the offensive scope, will speed be a big factor, especially with Palacios when he broke the record last year for stolen bases at Towson? Will speed be a huge way to manufacture runs this year?
We hope so. We like, everybody likes speed. Palacios and Policelli last year were able to get on base and steal bases, both second and third.
Mm-hmm.
Good college baseball teams have team speed. And we have a number of guys that are capable of stealing a base. If we get on base, we're going to steal some bases.
All right, now moving on to probably the most talked about portion is defense, as you briefly mentioned earlier. So on the defensive lineup, there's a hole at shortstop with Policelli leaving, but is Palacios going to go there? And with Grunberg being in the outfield, how confident do you feel about the defense this year?
I feel as good about our defense now as I did as compared to the 13 and 14 team.
Okay.
15 and 16 we're down defensively. Palacios is going to shortstop. That's done.
Okay.
Grunberg's in center field. That's done. Grunberg's a very good center fielder. I'm happy with that. Defensively, I have a number of choices at third. I have a couple of choices at second, and they're all good choices. So I feel good for the first time in a while that I could put a good defensive infield on the field. I feel good about our catchers, both Trey Martinez and Tristan Howerton. They're both throwing well, receiving well. Up the middle, we're going to be stronger than we've been in quite some time, and I could not have said that a year or two ago.
So now, moving specifically in offense, let me talk about Mark Grunberg. As you said, he batted .320 in his freshman year, missed most of last year, but he's still in his 3 games batted .385. How big is it to have him back, especially since he's the only switch hitter on the roster?
Well, just having another guy to get on base for your best hitters, is huge. And we missed out on that. Now, whether that's a run a game or a run every 2 games, I don't know the answer to that. But somewhere along the line, if he were with us last year, we'd have won some more ball games. There's no doubt about that.
So you start your season off in California, and the season gets real busy real quick because you're playing 4 games in 3 days. 2 on the 1 on the 24th, 2 on the 25th, 1 on the 26th. That's a very tough way to start the season off, and Cal State Northridge is not an easy team.
No, they're not, but it's not supposed to be easy. If you look at our schedule through the years, I'm not a coach who tries to get patsies on the schedule. We play a tough schedule early. We travel the competitive sites to play against good competition, so that when we start conference play, we're ready. We're not going to be surprised by anything we see. In our conference last year, 2 teams went to the regional, Wilmington and William and Mary. And when we play those teams come season, I want us to have been prepared by who we've already played.
Another thing is that since Northridge is in the suburbs of Los Angeles, and I'm guessing the weather is going to be much nicer there than it is here. But when you do come back to Towson, where the weather might be 30 degrees cooler and there might be more rain or snow, is it hard to adapt to those drastic changes in weather, or are you guys ready for that?
I think it's tougher to adapt from a mental standpoint. You go out there, it's 70 degrees, it's always sunny, and then you come back, it's a little bit of a letdown. But you can go somewhere else and play in 35 to 45 degree weather and be miserable all weekend. So we might as well take advantage of what was afforded us to go out there and play against a good team in great weather. And, I think it's better for the program to be able to do that.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best of luck as the season gets started.
My pleasure.
The Tigers start their season off February 24th against California State Northridge. Make sure you get all your updates on TowsonTigers.com on the baseball team and follow their Twitter at Towson_base. Alongside Coach Gottlieb and for all Towson Sports Network, I'm Bonza Tufa, signing off.